Okay.
Okay, can you bring up my PowerPoint?
I've got a spreadsheet for a start.
I only have 10 minutes for my part. So stop me after I've done my 10 minutes, okay?
It's just a bit tricky.
And he has used up my 30 seconds. 1 minute already.
No, I'm sorry, Wayne. You can
So you have to give me back the 1 minute. I'm very time conscious.
There you go, Wayne.
Okay, so that is the title of our presentation. Not myself, but five other teachers in a research group that we've been together for many years. Okay, next one. Have you seen this painting, this picture before? Whenever I do a presentation, I almost always actually bring this up. This is a painting by a 14th century artist, a painter. So I don't know who that person is. It's anonymously done. The reason why, if you look at this picture very carefully, you will see there's a teaching session, right? So there's a woman teaching a group of monks or some sort of mathematics type of thing, right? A geometry or whatever. Now that is very strange. If you know a little bit about history, 14th century is about in the medieval period, and woman, how can a woman, the educated people, they are all the monks. How come a woman teaching math, science, that sort of thing? It's very interesting when I look at this picture. And I always think that I am that woman. I am that woman. Because in a session like this, you all sit here, like listen to me, like as if I were teaching you, right? But in fact, I don't teach you. And I don't actually have the expertise of teaching you, because I'm that woman. You are the monks, right? In the medieval period, the monks are the educated people, not the woman, right? So I always bring this up to remind myself that whenever we are sharing things, we are teach, but we are learn. We are coming to learn. So we will be learning together and building knowledge together in the next 2 days. You don't expect anyone to teach you. You expect that you learn and build knowledge yourself, okay? That's the purpose of this slide, okay? Yes. So for the benefits of people who are not very familiar with the knowledge building principles, that is the slide I want to use. You all know that in the 21st or even in the 20th century, late 20th century, with the advent of globalization and the knowledge society, labor and capital, they are not very important, where knowledge is important, right? We always talk about these mind workers. We are talking about ideas, importance of the ideas in a knowledge society, right? The next one. And in the knowledge society in the 21st century, there are many very complicated, complex problems. Environmental, socio-economic, health, those are wicked problems, very difficult to solve, right? You always come up with all these environmental problems. So we need innovative ideas. We really need ideas, not for as a single person, but many people will have to come up with new ideas to solve all these complex, wicked problems. So this is the society that we are living, we are facing in the 21st century. You can't avoid doing that. So the conventional type of teaching and learning may not work anymore. So you may have already done it many years, transmitting knowledge from one generation to the next generation, may be very effective in the past, but in the future, or even right now, it doesn't really work, right? It doesn't really work. We need to actually support our students to become knowledge creators themselves. Not in the future, but now, right now, right? So we have to develop the capacity and capability of creating knowledge. Can they do that? Even with small young kids in our experience? Yes, they can. If you read the literature, there are many, many studies documenting even very young kids, they can create new knowledge useful to their community. Of course, when they create knowledge, they are not creating knowledge which a Nobel Prize winner is creating. But nonetheless, those are new ideas which are new to their community. Practice-oriented knowledge, or even academic knowledge, ideas, they are new, right? So that is the task that we are facing now as a teacher. How to support our students, no matter how young they are, to become knowledge creators, knowledge builders. That's why you come here, or that's why some of our teachers have been doing all this work in the classrooms, is to find ways to support their teachers to become knowledge creators, okay? And the knowledge building, not this one, last one. The knowledge building communities model is the model that we are using. This model was developed by Marina and Carl long time ago, being refined by other people, researched by other people. Basically, the goal of this model is to develop ideas continuously, right? You don't actually just develop an idea that said this is a good idea. Ideas can always be improved. The goal is to continually develop ideas, okay, as a community. So in a typical classroom, you will see the class will work as a community. There will be a topic, there will be questions generated, and there will be questions asked, and students will do research, and they critique each other and produce communal knowledge. Now, it's very similar on the surface that it is inquiry-based learning. So you can argue that knowledge building is a type of inquiry-based learning, but it is different in many aspects, right? But I'm not going to get into it because this is the introduction. The goal is quite different. In inquiry-based learning, your goal is not to create new knowledge. In inquiry-based learning, the goal is to enhance understanding of something. So the goal is to learn something. The learning is different from knowledge building. Okay, it's different. And students engage both in face-to-face and also online. Now, in some of our teachers, because they're all distance teachers, they're all online teachers, their students only engage in online discussion. Very, very little face-to-face discussion to build knowledge. Okay? And Knowledge Forum, as you will know later, is a software which has been developed specifically designed to support knowledge building. Okay? Then there are 12 principles that have been developed. Pedagogical principles. I'm not going to get into it because if I do that, I will need like 20, 30 minutes to do that. But what I want to show you is the next slide that our research group actually had been using to conceptualize this knowledge building model. This is the model that we developed. In the center is epistemic agents. Epistemic means knowledge, right? Agency is the freedom to create knowledge, right? So the whole knowledge building idea, the center of it is about agency. It's about how, where, when, what knowledge a student is going to create. Okay, that is the center of it. The goal is knowledge. So the community is to develop real and authentic ideas, improve ideas all the time, and also use resources elsewhere, but critically. Now, knowledge building is not that you start everything from new. You use what other people have done. Okay, so the teacher has a major role in a knowledge building class, a major role. Okay, the process is building. So knowledge building, the goal is knowledge. The process is building, online, offline, and progressively. So that means you ask deeper and deeper questions, right? You have a variety of solutions in your questions, right? So that is the process, but working in a community. So not just working individually. Our education system nowadays, not just in New Zealand, but worldwide, is very individualistic. Individual assessment. This model is not about individual assessment. But of course, you can use it to do individual assessment. That's not an issue. But the focus is on communal assessment, communal development. So all the members of the class of a knowledge building community, everyone has a responsibility to support other people. So there's a collective responsibility. So if you are working in the class, students, they all work for their own individual tasks, that will not be a knowledge building community. Okay, so whenever I think about knowledge building, I think about this triangle, that I will see that it's easier for my simple mind to understand what knowledge building is. Okay? So if you use knowledge forum, that is called a view, a space, a knowledge building space. You can create different space. Okay? Each of those is a note contributed by a person, a student or a teacher, right? And you see that those notes are linked together. So you have an idea, you contribute a note, another student may critique your idea or may further develop your idea, build on your idea, then the second note will be linked to the first one. Okay, when you see this like a mind map, right, they're all linked together. And there are different things you can do on this space. Can you do the next one? Now, in a newer version, in the latest version of Knowledge Forum, which is a web-based version, you can see a different, but it's similar, but it's more modern. Okay, next one. This is a note from an older version. You see on the left-hand side, those are scaffolding tools. Like for example, my theory, I need to understand new information. This theory cannot explain a better theory, putting knowledge together. So you click on those, that will focus you. Okay, what I'm going to write in the next sentence is an explanation. What is a theory? A theory is an explanation of something, right? Why is it raining today? Because we have a symposium. It rains. So that is my theory. Can it be a theory? Yes. So whether this theory can be improved is up to you. You can improve my theory, right? So there's an explanation. So you can put in a better theory, right? So those scaffolding tools will focus you onto something. I think that is a very key part of Knowledge Forum, right? Okay, Ken. This is the newer version. Looks like different, but it's the same with scaffolding, building on promising idea. Okay, so you will have the chance later today to look at it and have a bit of hands-on if you're interested. Ken will do a workshop so you can do something about it. Ken, how's my time? Is it not done?
Keep going.
Oh, done. Okay. I will tell a little bit about our project because they will be talking about it. I started doing knowledge building research in 2011, and in 2012 we have got a grant from the Ministry of Education, the TLRI, for 2 years, and then we have a group of teachers with 16 classes in senior secondary, looking at assessment, looking at how to implement a knowledge building class, and 8 of those classes are on-site classes, 8 of them are online classes. So we have a comparison of that. So that was the start of knowledge building research in New Zealand. We are the first in this country of doing that. And it has been systematically done since 2011 up to now. The project officially finished in 2013, but we have funding to continue it to 2014, right? And this year I got another grant to do it with another group of 6 teachers for another similar but different type of research, okay? And there are other teachers in New Zealand who are doing it as well. Okay, Ken. So with that project, you will see that there are different subjects in secondary. Oh, in that year, we also did primary as well. Okay, accounting, art history, biology. There are science subjects. There are humanities, social science subjects in this group of teachers. Okay, so what? Ken? We also come up with a model, with a practice model called the process model, which includes all the elements of how you can implement it in your school as a guide for teachers. So if you are going to use knowledge building in your class, you may want to use this model as a guide for you to proceed, right? So some teachers have found this model quite useful to supporting them, okay? And yeah, that's what I'm going to say. And then we have one has not arrived yet. She'll be arriving very soon. Her flight has been delayed in Christchurch. And each one will have 10 minutes to talk about what they have done, show you some slides in different subjects. And then after that, by 2:30, we'll open this up as a time, half an hour to build ideas. Okay, last slide. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. You've been hearing. I don't think you will understand unless you do it yourself. I didn't understand it. To begin with, I didn't understand what it is. So I had to do it myself with my own classes. I've been using knowledge forum and knowledge building principles for many years in my own teaching at the university level. Right? So I now understand it a little bit more. So I hope you will have some sort of understanding once you get into it and do some work about it. Okay, other people.
We want to get a little bit of a battle scheduling, and it's actually a small group just to go around and do some introductions. So we'll,
Oh, that's a great idea.
Sort of
That is a great idea. Darren always come up with good ideas.
Yeah, I'll bring.
Michael, you want to introduce yourself a bit?
I'm Marg Macpherson. I've had a long period involved with early childhood. But 30 years ago, when first arrived in Otago, I had a chance to fall into his projects. And I learned a lot, and it's knowledge building was actually one of those. I've been waiting, I think, 15 years, so I thought I'd come back and see if anything's changed and progressed.
Hi, I'm Georgie Watts. I'm at KBNZ College, just up the hill there. I'm also really interested in developing how students learn both at home and in the classroom, developing with today's society. And so it's got much opportunity to explore. Thank you.
So, hi, I'm Pullar. I'm teach physics and I'm the specialist classroom teacher for digital technology where I teach West Touch. Jane Gilbert came to our school a few years ago in to promote this sort of stuff, philosophy, education, knowledge, and ideas. And I started a few colleagues and I've been involved in that and I've been pretty fascinated ever since. So I've been just continuing my thinking around for a couple of years now, so I'm really interested and happy to be here.
Hi, my name is Marina Krijgsman. I'm currently still at the NetNZ College French teacher and I'm also teaching on the Y10 Learning Network. And I'm always really interested in how to develop ideas and doing lots of different teaching of learning. So as for all, I did the Back to the Future course with doing it. So really excited to be here.
I'm Tamara Yuill Proctor. I'm at NetNZ College in Christchurch, and I have been part of a project of teachers since 2009. Yeah, and then I did my final master's project using knowledge building and knowledge building in English classroom. Kia ora, I'm Marg Macpherson, and I'm an English teacher at Ashburton College. I went to the first New Zealand Symposium for knowledge building in Y10 3 years ago, and it was one of those kind of light bulb moments where I felt like finally someone came up with a theory that brought together all of the other pedagogical theories and trends within quite a number of years of teaching had been run into the sun. So I continued to follow that, attended the next symposium here in Geneva, and last year I did Wynn's paper in Knowledge Building as a distance learner myself, working in Knowledge Building as part of the learning community, and it's comment about not really getting it till you're doing it. It's very true. And so I've been looking for ways to implement that in the classroom. I kind of feel like I'm an honorary member of the research team because I wasn't part of it for the first 2 years, but the last year and a half of it, hanging around in the wings and doing work with teachers in my school as well this year with students. So, thank you.
Yeah, Darren Sudlow. I'm an executive for NetNZ with Ken and a couple of others. I'm actually a registered teacher at Ashburton College, but they don't see me very often. And I teach online. I teach a couple of courses actually, but one is level 2 history, which I've used in knowledge building process, and I've been part of the research team since 2011. So I'm like Marg, really, a light bulb moment for me with this. It was really sort of a natural evolution of where I was going, and it's been quite challenging, but enjoyed it. So far.
With me. I'm Nadine Simmons. I've come from Victoria West Primary School up in Auckland. I actually lived down here but work up there, have done for 12 years. Learning leader of Year 1 here, and we're really getting into Carol's work at the moment, so it's tied in really well with that. So I said I'll come in.
It's quite interesting. We have actually had some other new entrants showing the ones actually working on
Yeah, I'd
Knowledge
like to
Building.
see how it works. So,
We may be able to sort of talk a little bit more about that at some stage, but it's been pretty successful actually.
Hi, I'm Vicky Nicholson, I'm principal at Kwok-Wing Primary School, just down the road. For a long time, our school's been really, I guess, focused around wonderings. We have a line in our school song which we wrote ourselves, which is every day is a day of wonder here at our school. And so we've used a whole lot of different things to try and spark and keep that wondering going for children. And I think this might be another little wheel that we can add to that and deepen that whole notion of wondering and noticing and being enchanted.
I'm Brent Logan. I used to go to Kwok-Wing Primary School a long time ago. I've got a background, 17 years senior secondary teaching based in Otago. I'm currently at the New Zealand Qualifications Authority in Wellington. I'm the manager of assessment and moderation. One of the things we oversee is the best practice workshops. We have about 200 of those a year and serving about 3,500 teachers. Sometimes it's been double that. We provide a lot of teaching support, and we're going online with that using Moodle and Blackboard Collaborate. And the latest step for us has been going on to Pond with Network for Learning. We're developing that, and we're looking at getting into supporting more online community teacher collaboration and assessment.
Hi, I'm Melvin. I'm from Singapore. I'm a secondary school history teacher itself. I've been using Knowledge for about 2 to 3 years. This year I've extended my entire history cohort, around 300 plus students. The students are enjoying the knowledge building process because they realize that they are no longer just a passive receiver, they are knowledge creators.
Hello, I'm Kelvin. I've been teaching for the past 9 years, and I'm still in teaching. And knowledge building is a pedagogical change since 2012. For the first 5 years in the process of teaching, I find no innovation. So therefore, when one of the trainees who was posted to my school, she introduced me to knowledge building, I linked up with Chili, Dr. Teo Chili from Singapore, which is from Ministry of Education. And therefore, I began my journey of knowledge building. And it's wonderful, and I'm really amazed how much knowledge my students has created. Not just locally, but broad-based learning across subjects. That's why I'm still doing knowledge building, and I hope that I can achieve more in the future to come.
And hi, I'm Ken Pullar, and I work for NetNZ, which is an online community of schools
with students dotted around the country, but particularly in the South Island. I guess I came to knowledge building probably about 15 years ago when I was fortunate enough to read one of Marlene and Carl's papers, and it was very much one of those eureka moments. You know, finally I found something which philosophically and pedagogically it just resonated so strongly with. I can't say I'm an experienced knowledge teacher, because ever since I've been struggling with it, and I'm still struggling with it. And I think that will be a common theme, which I think teachers internationally will sort of say it's not an easy thing. It's not a quick fix. There's a whole set of beliefs which you need to sort of absorb and then put into practice. And that putting into practice in sort of traditional classroom cultures can be quite challenging. And this year I've got a level 3, a year 13 or grade 12 maths class, which I'm trying to do knowledge building with. Trying is probably the operative word, but I'll be quiet and perhaps invite some of the rest of our team to come up and share in a little bit more detail what they've been doing. Who wants to start? Tamara, you've got a smile on your face.
Thanks for that.
You've got to stand around about here.
You're going to manage the PowerPoint,
I'll get.
and I'll read it from here, then I'll just click right.
So, yeah, you can tune around.
I'm not smiling ever again.
Well, but I just need to make sure we get your best view there tomorrow. Okay, yeah, you can introduce yourself, and then while you're doing that, I'll find it out.
Cool. So I'm, as I said before, Tamara Yuill Proctor from St Andrews in Christchurch. I first came on board with knowledge building in about 2011 when I signed up to do Wing's course at the university, and then joined the project. And a common theme, it wasn't until I got into it that I sort of understood what I was doing and how it worked, and over time it's got a lot easier. And so what I'm going to share with you is just what I'm doing with my year 10s. This is it. Yep, this is it. So I have
I've just got to dive on for a moment while I start sharing that with everyone.
I have a top band year 10 class, very able. Most of them do the problem solving stuff as well. It's co-educational. There's 28 students in the class, and it's a BYOD class, and it's any device that they have is what they bring. So it's not just Apple, it's a mixture of everything. And that's a wee photo up there in the top corner. So what I thought I would do this year was look at an English NCA level 1 standard and write a whole assessment for it using Knowledge Forum as the tasks. So I'll be keen to get your feedback on that. Kind of handy. So I've taken the information literacy one, and I've just highlighted some of the key things that I thought made it relevant to knowledge building and using Knowledge Forum. It talks about framing and inquiry, selecting and using appropriate strategies, reliability and usefulness of information. I really like the whole involves creating ideas and knowledge based on information gathered, which I just thought, well, that's knowledge building written into the standard. So I've taken this. None of the students in my class will gain credits for the standard. They're doing it as part of the unit of work, and they know that I'm trialling this as an NCA standard, but because our other top band class isn't doing the same thing, then we're not offering it to them, because that would be unfair to our other class. So what I did next is we started this halfway through term 2, but from the start of the year we've been using the idea of creating knowledge for the community